And single shines the triple sun. What was sundered and undone shall be whole. The two make one. By Gelfling hand, or else by none. By Gelfling hand? Do you know what that means, Kira?
Wait. This is a piece of the dark crystal.
Then that's what my master meant.
Yes.
Peace. Just want to share a little pointer with y'all for subconscious programming, and basically how you could use tools that, well, in essence, all movies are not, toxic in essence, like, of course, they have agendas and certain programmings that are meant to, to confuse in certain movies. But there are certain truths in movies and certain things that's, straightforward and could help you, you know what I'm saying? But I thought about when I was doing certain jewelry pieces while watching a movie, and how whenever I use that piece, it reminds me of the movie, but most importantly, working on the piece and being reminded of parts in the movie that could help my subconscious. So I think of like one piece I was doing, I don't know if it was I think it could have been a fluorite piece, and it was at a part in the movie when it was Harry Potter, and it was when he was learning how to do a spell to protect itself from those ghoulish beings that would like almost like suck your soul out. So so the teacher was teaching him this spell of like how to make even the most frightening things ridiculous so you could laugh at it as a form of protection. And just like that, like using that part of the movie while, making a certain piece, and this could be whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's while doing something or working with something, that if you're just holding it in your hand, you don't necessarily have to be working or creating anything per se. But I'm using, my example, sharing from the example of how it worked for me. Again, like I was working on a certain piece, because I think of like, one of my rings that I'm wearing right now. I was watching Star Wars, and it was a certain part of Star Wars where, certain rebels had triumphed, and had a quote unquote W in a certain moment where they kind of, overcame an obstacle. So now this ring is going to always remind me of overcoming obstacles. You know what I'm saying? My other piece is going to remind me of how I could protect myself from even the most, scariest fear-mongering, type of energies and entities. You know what I'm saying? So you could use that. And again, movies as an example, because certain parts in movies, again, can be helpful. Everybody don't watch movies. So if you don't, this video is not for you. You don't have to get in the comments criticizing about how much you don't watch movies. Don't make any sense. But anyway, love you anyway. But yeah, you definitely could, use that type of, practice or that form of programming to help you, again, instill a certain level of, again, like overcoming an obstacle, a certain level of courage or strength, you know what I'm saying? But just promoting some type of feeling, and in essence, subconscious programming, but more so feeling, but helping you to produce a certain feeling, in a certain moment, So if you are feeling, frightened, all you gotta do is look at a certain shirt you were wearing when you was watching this movie. Or, all you gotta do is, look at the certain shoes you were wearing, or you were eating a certain food, just anything, it's like, in so many words, though, just simply put, just tying connections to moments when you're dealing with something, that from a perspective, again, watching movies, connecting it to some, like making a connection, like connecting a certain part that was helpful and inspirational to you with some type of object, you know what I'm saying? No matter what that object is, you could have been touching and playing with your bracelet on your wrist while watching the part on something as is it sound corny, but like say for a Jamaican bobsled team, when they had that moment where they all came together and kind of walked through the finish line and everybody cheered for them, to help remind you to persevere. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, because with anything, again, as much as movies is this and that, everything could have harmful effects or helpful effects. Again, water and sunlight is the most life-giving things in this realm, but in extremes, it could be very harmful. Water could drown you just as much as it could give life. The sun could burn the shit out of you. You know what I'm saying? And burn up all plant life and just all nourishment, just as much as it could, activate your melanin and all this other good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like everything, has a positive and negative to it. It's just on how you connect with it, you know what I'm saying? And how you, work with its energy, you know what I'm saying? But just wanted to share that. That's a cool little way, to bring forth a certain, helpful feeling, a certain helpful awareness in moments when you may be dealing with, tough situations, in moments where you may be fearful, you may be doubting yourself, because again, you think you're doubting yourself. You look at the ring that you was watching when, speaking of the ring, to make it, align on that level, I look at my ring and it reminds me of the part of the movie where Frodo just, had the strength to throw that ring in the volcano, you know what I'm saying? Or when, again, just different part. I don't, whatever examples you want to use, but again, like, certain triumphant moments in movies and, programming that to a certain object, so when you feeling like you're not able to, work through something, or you don't have the patience for something, you could watch, you be reminded of Shawshank Redemption and how, I forgot his name, but how the brethren had the patience to plan how to get out of jail, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's things like that, because again, it's like whatever way you could helpfully, program your subconscious, and AKA that's magic, you know what I'm saying? That's magician work, but in a helpful manner and towards yourself, and not trying to fix nobody else or harm nobody else. Is, magic work on your own subconscious instead of letting somebody else program your subconscious. Again, because if I'm just watching movies all loosely and just all the time, then that's when a movie becomes toxic. If you don't know what's going on and know what's toxic programming and what's not, you're just kind of watching certain things just constantly, then you're just constantly consuming things and not necessarily creating, but again, if you're aware, intentional and deliberate, and you know what's going on with certain programs in movies or certain agendas, you know what I'm saying, then it could be used as a tool, to help you, you know what I'm saying, in connection again with the way I brought up, with a certain object and connecting it to it. But that's it. We're not gonna make this longer than it needs to be, just again, staying tapped in, tuned in. Now's the vibrate, not too far in the future, not too far in the past, right now.